Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another installment with Zooming with the Brothers. Today, we are blessed with the NFT that doesn't exist on the blockchain. That's Mr. Archie.
Yo.
He's so yeah, Archie got myself. We have good old Guapo Dapo there.
Yes, sir.
And then we have G, aka Koala, aka that dude.
They call me Slim. I don't know why. It's weird.
Because you're skinny as shit.
Let's link to me.
I don't know why.
Now Archie is also in the Sling game. So Sling gang.
Gang.
gang. Gang.
So
Well, we're always missing one person. We don't have DJ FX right now, but maybe he'll join.
yeah, he will. He better. He better. No, but like, so fellas, we've been kind of just shooting stuff here and there, but glad to have you back. So basically, let's talk. What I was thinking about is like, I know we all love dancing. I know we all love the camaraderie of going to festivals and events, but is anyone else in this post-COVID world just doesn't have the motivation to go to the festivals like we used to?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, but I think that's all of us to some degree. Pre-COVID, it was definitely a problematic addiction, without saying a better word. I just don't have one. It was absolutely an obsession to stay on that high of being in the festivals from Thursday, Friday, all the way to Sunday, Monday, whatever. Stay up all night. All you're doing is dancing, listening to music, socializing. It's a grand old time. And COVID made you pick some other vices, to say the least. And not in a negative way, just other hobbies and things of which you can find that don't require the allure of the festival atmosphere. So I would say it's toned down, but it's kind of ramping back up too. Like some people just dive right back into that same old lifestyle, which, hey, pick and choose your poison.
Are you back into that lifestyle, Gerard?
Am I back in it? No, I don't know yet. I can't say yes yet.
Gerard's also in a different place now than he was before because he's like DJing way more now.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a different animal on a different side of it, for sure, where you're getting booked for events and certain things. So I haven't been booked for a festival yet. We'll see what comes in the future. Until then,
Different.
We'll say it again, Archie.
I was gonna say that definitely makes it different because then like going to 3 or 4 festivals a month just to go, you can easily be like, all right, I need to chill out. But going to 3 or 4 festivals where you're booked a month is different because it's still having the same effect, if not a worse effect on your body. But in your head, you're like, but I'm making bread, so this is good, and at some level it is good. Everything just has to be balanced out, but it's just a different monster, especially when you do that for a long period of time.
This is true, and I'm still just now starting out, especially compared to you, Archie, and FX whenever he decides to get here. So we'll see what happens, but I would say I'm not where I used to be in regards to that level of attending festivals just for the fun of it. There was absolutely a problem at some point.
That level of addiction is not there.
I mean, just, it changes. If it changes from if you're just attending to be just a patron dancing versus your goal is one day to get booked and it becomes a business venture. So then you got to look at it from that side. Then you're making different decisions. You're calculating things differently. So nothing malicious. Either way it goes, you're going to have fun. But like Archie's saying, it is absolutely a different kind of wear and tear in your body, for sure. Being tall already, just standing for between 2 to 4 hours every day at least, DJing alone, and that's for 3 days straight. So 12 to 15 hours for a week, 9 to 15, depending on how your math goes, 6 to 15. Yeah, it can be destructive. Absolutely. If you're not resting and always got to stay engaged in some capacity. So,
bro, my first event after COVID was in Dallas in February, and my body, I mean, I'll never go back to staying up until 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning again, ever. But my body was not ready for that, because we went to Dallas and I was working that event, and the first night for the pre-party, it went until like 6 a.m. And I was like, bruh, I am not used to this anymore. Like, my body is not used to 6 a.m. staying up until that time no more. So yeah, that was definitely interesting, especially because before that, in 2020 and then like into 2021, I was going to bed by 10 o'clock at the latest, 10 p.m. latest, going to sleep. So yeah, that sleep is important.
facts. What about yourself, Dapo?
It's definitely not the same for me. I even before COVID happened, I was already weaning myself off of the dance um the dance high per se. I'll just use that to say that because and also I think I wanted to state the obvious. I think we're just getting older, and so certain things come with getting older, that certain priorities start to hit you different, and what you desire and things like that start to shift and change, and the kind of connections you're looking for, at least for me, has started to shift, um, and also because I think I through this whole journey of, I met you guys, I kind of developed the bond, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I have them. I have I have my brothers. I'm good. I'm set. So, and I think because of that, like, what led me on that journey in the first place, it felt kind of redundant. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I would, like, for example, I don't bother trying to go somewhere if any of you guys aren't there, right? I just don't care. Um, I'd rather one of you be there and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna go hang out with Gerard, or Eric is there, so I'm gonna hang out with him, and then the dance thing will just be a plus. Um, unless one of you is already on a roll and it's like, fuck, I'm gonna go on this ride. Okay, fine. Go on this ride. I will probably do 2, 3 congresses back to back to back, because we don't know when next we're gonna see each other, kind of thing. But I think also for me, just yes, like I said, growing older, and I think for me also, I got lost in it for like a good 10 years, 10, 12 years, just congresses back to back. And I was like, oh, there's certain things I want to do with my finances now. I need to shift and pivot.
Yep.
So that just, so that's what it is. That's one of the motivating reasons for me. And it doesn't help that it's not getting cheaper. It's actually getting much more expensive to go to these things, and to be involved in these things. And the returns are different for me now. To be able to spend that kind of money and go, I'm, the returns are just, they don't weigh the cost for me anymore in that sense. So unless I'm just trying to just expense and just see people and engage with them, then I'll go. I'll rather take a trip to go visit friends or visit a local scene, for a weekend, versus just going to a congress and being stuck in a hotel and just having people pass by and connecting with them just briefly, and then have that high for like a weekend, and then you come back and it's like you get with this crash. It just took a toll on me personally and emotionally. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Leon? What's up?
Just don't be caring, bro.
Just speak up.
You've not been caring. You've not been caring for a long time.
No, it's not. No, that's not true necessarily. I heard this saying the other day. It's like it's FOMO. It's the fear of not missing out.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
That's how I feel. My fear is that I won't miss out. So if I missed out, I always have that desire to like, man, I probably should have went to that, but I do not care enough to go. It's like invite me, but I know I'm not going to show up.
You one of those
It's
people?
No, it's just
Can't stand those friends.
if you don't invite me, I show up for my friends.
Then
That's fair. This is true.
I show up for my
Well,
friends.
everybody likes to feel. The thing about it is everybody likes to feel thought about, though. You know.
Yeah. But it's like even locally when I know it's a 15-minute drive to go and do something and be able to dance, I'm like, I weigh the cost. I'm like, do I really even want to deal with this? Like, am I? Because I mean, remember when I was first, like 2014, I was bringing spiked watermelons. I was bringing any and everything to like the weekenders and the festival, like just having a blast being like. But I think it alludes to what Dappa was saying, that priorities do change, right? So it's like, yeah, you still want to be able to go out and have fun and enjoy yourself, but my fun has changed. Like what excites me has changed. What I still love dance. I still love watching. You know what is more interesting to me is me having a Coke or rum or some drink on the side, chatting up with a bunch of people, watching other people dance and have fun. That's more fun to me than me necessarily getting out there and dancing 3 to 5 strong songs and just want to I'd rather do one and done, chill, talk for about 15, 20 minutes, do another one, maybe 2, dance. I mean, I'm the complete opposite of what I used to be, like try to go 3 to 4 hours at a shot. One song. I mean,
you don't miss those connections.
Miss those connections.
Man, you know what? What's the best way?
None of you miss the connections.
I honor that connection for that period of time.
honor. That's a strong word.
I give it its respect in the dance within the context of the dance. I do that, and
Is
then
it
I'm
safe
like,
to say that you outgrow? Ooh, this is gonna stab some people. Is it safe to say that you outgrow immature, fleeting connection that you have to constantly chase dance after dance because you realize that it's not fulfilling?
it's the dopamine hit isn't there anymore.
Yeah, it's not there. Like you've done it so much, it doesn't hit as strong anymore.
Like I have more, to be honest with you. Like if I'm just with a decent dancer and the music's great, I have more fun dancing to the music with someone else than actually dancing with that person to the music.
I'm gonna need you to say that sentence again.
You said like 3 things.
I'm gonna need you to say that sentence again.
For a second.
Not for the people in the back, but for me. I'm gonna need you to say that again.
No, it's like I'd rather enjoy the music I'm dancing to with someone else than enjoy the dance with someone else to the music.
Gotcha.
I see.
I feel you.
So
Like you're saying, it doesn't have to be just like this bomb awesome person that I know.
No.
He doesn't care about the person. He cares about enjoying the music.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like dancing to the music. Yeah.
I mean, I care about some people. Let's be fair.
Well, I don't mean it in that like condescending way whereby you don't care for people, but more of like it's not a pirate. Like it's not a pirate.
It's
like,
more important for me to enjoy the music.
Or-
It's more important for me to enjoy the music.
Yeah.
Because I mean, sometimes I'm over just dancing out of obligation, or just because someone asked. I'm not there. So like even like this during the week when we had their thing at Amale, I'm like, I want to go because I want to support certain people, but at the same time, I'd rather just slide in there, get an hour, hour and a half, and slide out. I'm not trying to spend the whole. I'm not trying to open grand opening, grand closing. I'm not trying to do all that.
No, I ain't done that. Yeah, I ain't done it in a long time.
Oh. It's funny because when I see people who are still in that stage, I'm like, oh, poor thing.
Poor thing.
No, they're needed.
No,
they are needed.
I know, but you think on the like it's envious. It comes from a place of envy.
Why? Why so envious?
Gerard, you know why?
Well, I think it's because he's reminiscing on the days of
yes, the days where it was so innocent for me, and like
it was never innocent.
This was so great.
Say it again, Leon. Say it again. Say it again.
It was innocent for me.
Innocent is not the best word. I think he means like simple. It was so simple. You know, showed up. I was zealous.
Got my strong leg, and I was good.
You know, dance all night.
Now I'm suffering. Now I'm suffering with that knee right now. Now I have to wear a knee brace.
No, it's
do what you got to do. But let's be clear, those people are absolutely necessary for the scene.
Yeah,
you have to have them.
Like to continue thriving.
I mean, and the crazy thing about it is, I mean, when you get a person who's been in anything that involves people constantly coming in and going out over time,
right?
There's always going to be people that have been doing it for a year or two, and there's always going to be people that have been doing it for 8 or 9 or 10, you know, and naturally those people are just in different stages, you know.
I would say it's I would say it's kind of I feel fortunate to actually see that the cycles repeat, right? You know, the same issues, the same like, oh, we're gonna talk about this. I'm like, ugh.
Bruh, don't even I saw a post yesterday and I was like, why are we still talking about the same stuff? Did somebody really just post?
It was like from 8 years ago. It was the same topic.
Literally just post.
I'm like,
not a real dance. I'm like, bro, this is like a 9-year-old conversation. Like, what are we talking about?
It's like if they're fresh, they start to observe. I'm like, you start to observe. Oh, you're getting much more involved in the scene. Fine, you have an issue with this. Okay,
there's been a lot of those random questions from the old conversations that we've had popping up lately.
But here's the thing, though: are the people that's asking these old questions old people? Like, are they people who've been in the dance for years? Or are they new people?
No. They're usually
some of the people I don't know, to be honest with you. Okay. I don't know.
They're usually new people. That's why I always laugh.
But then it makes me wonder. How are you a new person coming into the dance? Like, who's teaching you to make you ask this question about is Urban Kids an actual dance?
It's not even a question. They're saying it with force and
I know
authority.
But where are they getting this influence from? Is that just the tone or the conversations happening amongst the community, or are they literally hearing this from 1 or 2 people or a specific teacher or whatever environment city they're in? Like, well, I don't know who's saying this.
It's obvious we're not in those conversations.
No, we're not.
So it's like,
in the past, in the past, whenever Urban Kids was on the come up, it was a lot easier to have that conversation because it was so new and so fresh. Versus now, like, it's literally all over the place. So it's a lot more difficult now, and almost a little misguided to say Urban Kids is not a dance at all. Like, it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense because there's literally people dancing it. Now, getting into the details of what defines it and all this stuff, I'm not going to get into that. But like, just the fact of saying like it doesn't exist as an actual dance outside, it just doesn't make any sense.
Like, I can understand when people are saying they're like Urban Kids isn't ghetto music, and I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. That goes without saying. They have different names for obvious reasons, right? But it's like, have people forgotten I'm just gonna throw it out there. Have people forgotten that a lot of us in the beginning, like 7, 8, 9 years ago, all we had was quote unquote ghetto zouk to dance to.
Yeah.
Right. So it's funny to me that people are like, at the time, that more European or French style of dancing of what was then considered, well, I mean, choose my words carefully here. What we thought was Kizomba at the time, I'll put it that way, right? Was, I mean, it was grossly accepted that this is Kizomba music and this is what it is. And so we're like, once we learn, oh, this is technically ghetto zouk, or it's this or it's that, and we just happen to dance semba on it in certain respects, I'm like, what do you really call it at that point? I mean, people learn different things, do different things. Like, okay, we did get to that point where people, a vast majority, agree that urban kids is urban kids, Kizomba is Kizomba, semba is semba. Tarasho, Tarashinha, they have their own places and where they fit. Like, so it is interesting, Dapo, to see those conversations. And I was going back to some of our old podcasts of like how heated we used to get.
Oh God.
How heated we used to get over that.
Watch the past.
For instance, when Laurent said, "I'm sorry, Kizomba, but," that whole thing, I listened to it again.
I swear,
Oh my God.
I think that was the first podcast. That was the first one.
That was the first one?
That was the first
I
one.
think it was the third one. I think it was the third.
Was it? I
Top
thought
five.
that was the one that was
It's
like,
in there. It's
one of the
early,
first ones,
early,
for sure.
early.
I think that was I thought that was one of the ones that was like, yo, we need to start a podcast.
So yeah, we got.
It was one of those topics like, yo, we have to do this.
We got to talk about this.
Oh,
This
God.
is
this was
egregious. This is disrespectful. Okay, Laurent, bruh.
Did that age well? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Are we
No,
sure?
I don't think so, because
Like what he said, right now, our podcast aged amazingly. I'm just saying.
Podcast is still classic based on.
Yeah, honestly,
material.
to be honest with you, I think every single one of our podcasts is aged pretty well.
I agree.
I don't take anything back. That's how I felt.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I look at it like this: is like, if someone was to come and ask me, now that certain things have changed or circumstances change, do you think that you were wrong? I'd be like, nope. Nope. And I'd be like, you know what? F them. F them. I said what I said. I meant it. It is what it is at that point.
Fine, you're still here.
Because
Damn it.
think about
Cockroach.
it, man. It's like there is something I kind of want to. I'm glad that I've seen a lot less woke stuff in the dance conversations. That's been refreshing. Like, it's not a carte blanche, hey, you got it, you have to listen to me because of XYZ type deal. I'm just glad people are kind of just having the conversation. The older ones in the scene are just like, oh, we're talking about this again, provides an answer or something or a response that's like, oh, okay. Conversation dies pretty quick now.
Most of the time when I see it, I just keep it moving. And it reminds me, like, everything is so recycled. Like, it's just constantly going. Like, when I saw that, I was like, I swear, like, I was literally like looking at my phone, like, I can't believe we're having this conversation again. There was literally like a war for like a long time, bro. I don't know if I've ever seen a war within a dance. I
remember that post. I was like,
yo,
it was legit, like, people getting like pissed off and there was like a line drawn in the sand for a lot of people, and it was like big. And so then it died down, and they had like the white flag and the peace treaty, and we saw like big Kizomba dancers taking photos with big urban kids dancers, and
because people started losing money.
Probably so.
Started losing money. We weren't making enough money in the first place, and then we had a war. Like freaking attrition. Are you kidding me?
And so I was like, okay, that done. And now, like when I saw that, I was like, wow, people either are just ignorant to the past,
people are
which is
feeling
not very
themselves.
long past to begin with, but they're ignorant to the past 5 or 6, 7 years, or they just want to start drama.
I think people just feel themselves because a lot of times like I was saying, I think in the previous podcast, a lot of people are in their bubbles, right? They're in this all little bubbles, especially when it comes to Kizomba and urban kids, right? Because it's so fringe. It's not so mainstream that everybody, unless you've been in it for a long time, all, you kind of are connected and you know the networks. So when people come into it new, they come into the bubble. So in their little bubble, they're like, oh, this is um quaint. This is, and it's like, no, we've talked about this. This is why we're still where we are. And I think they don't get exposed to that early on until they put some time in, when they actually get to visit other dance communities within Kizomba and stuff, and they're like, oh, this has been going on for a while. I need to shut up.
Yeah, but it's so funny to speak about like what Archie said. They come in with so much force and vigor, like they've seen God and they know the truth, right? It's like they come in so hard. And I was like, it kind of just gives me opportunity to reflect. I'm like, man,
it does.
Was I that bad?
This dance, yeah, yes. we were. I'm sorry, this dance does it to you. Like, I don't think it's unique to dance. I think it's unique to the enthusiasm we usually feel when we get into something exciting, right?
Yeah.
We have that vigor. We just like, oh my God, I know I'm gonna learn everything, and then you learn something, it feels like an expert, and you just want to express that. So yeah, so I'm empathetic to those expressions.
Yeah. So did anybody go to?
Sense.
So did anyone go to Sawa?
Someone did.
How was it?
It was good. It was good. The 10th edition.
10 years. That's impressive.
That's wonderful.
Well, not 10 years, but the 10th edition for sure. Because they skipped a year, but then they had 2 last year. I think the first one was in 2014. So maybe there was a couple
but
times.
Your event 10 times is
yeah, that's strong.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, completely agree. Completely. Like, it was a great turnout. Great energy, family reunion vibes as usual. Everybody came in with the right mind state. DJs killed it. I mean, it was a good event. It was a very good event. If you missed it, then you missed it. It's unfortunate, but it's whatever. It's unfortunate that you missed it. It's great that we had it and I was there. Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. I'm pretty sure anybody can have critiques about something. It's whatever. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. Overall, it was a great event.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, and to me now, I'm just like, just go if you want to go. All these events, these people are trying their best, and especially with the COVID thing, I'm like, look what COVID did. Look at how many of us felt like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know what to do myself. I didn't realize, this events or this dance gave so much to me, and took it for granted, or etc. And so, yeah, please, if you can support them, if you can show up, go to it. I don't.
Do you think that COVID caused people during the 2020 time? Do you think that people missed dancing more, or people missed people more?
I think. Go ahead, Gerard.
Nah, I was going to say I think they miss people, but they didn't understand that they miss people, and they said they miss dance. So typically they use dance as their ability to interact with people without being too vulnerable. Weird. And in order to really, understand people, get for lack of better words, a real connection, or just, be human and like have a genuine interaction with somebody, you have to put yourself out there. And dance is one of those things where you can just show up to a class, just say hi, have those soft introductions like, hey, my favorite ice cream is vanilla and whatever else. Like, what's your favorite ice cream? Okay, cool. We can bond now. Let's dance. And you're hugging and that's it. Then on to the next week and on to the next party. And the icebreakers, soft warming.
Yeah,
Connection.
that's interesting that it was the cheesiest and most rudimentary icebreakers. People be like, been friends for like 6-7 years.
That right there.
Facts. It's true.
Like I'm in my head. I don't want to dismiss somebody's walk in their journey through gaining friends or whatever, but part of me sometimes is like, how well do you actually know this person that you are saying like is like your family? I don't know. Family for me is like such a deep meaning word. So whenever people say that, sometimes I'm like, but how well do you know some of these people?
It's interesting you say that, Archie, because I agree with you. Like, how well do you know somebody? Like, if someone, for me, it's a matter of knowing who this person is via experience more so than it is just like, what's your favorite, and pick an object, pick something, right? Like, what's your favorite kind of car? No one really cares about that. However, there was once a car chase we were in. This is a joke, but still, we were in a car chase, and you did not panic under pressure. I was impressed. Now, that's a different kind of level of understanding of people, right? Like, oh yeah, we got chased by dogs, whatever the heck you want to call it, and just like we have a shared experience. Have a shared experience that truly allow you to like bond with people. So,
which some of these events offer. Right?
I think that's important, to be honest with you. Like, events should have periods of time where I've always been this way though. Even whenever I was like wanting to be at every event every weekend, I've always been like a really community type person to where I was like, I like interacting with people. But I think that events build a tighter bond for their event. To me, the events that are the most successful are the one and long-term are the ones that people experience the event and not just the dance. And part of experiencing the event is having periods of time throughout the event where you can bond with people. And so like you remember, like, yeah, the dances were dope. But if we're 100% honest, most events are going to have an overlap of DJs. So you're going to get some of some similar music. So for an event to stand out, and even teachers, the teachers are worse than DJs, to be honest with you, because like you can look, especially within certain scenes, like if you look in the Kizomba or in Brazilian Zouk, like the overlap of teachers is insane. So you can go to 4 different events in a month and see 2 of the same teachers at every event. So it's like between teachers and DJs, you might get similar stuff. So what makes the event like really grab you is your interaction with the people and the vibe of the event throughout the whole weekend. So that happens whenever the event lends itself to being able to have some sort of community being built with people, So I mean, Fam Jam was a good one for that. Too bad. Rest in peace, Fam Jam.
R.I.P. Fam Jam.
R.I.P. Gerard,
you're muted.
R.I.P. all Houston festivals ever. Just R.I.P. to all of them.
Example, bro. Like, it wasn't a festival, but the freaking Tuesday night that we had, lit.
Tuesday or Monday?
Monday, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
Bro.
Skybox, shout out.
Oh, bro. It was so dope. Every Monday. It was so dope. Organic too. Organically just flowed out. And that was such a dope time period. It's one of them periods of life that you think back on and you don't realize how dope it is until like years later when you're not in it anymore,
You go back and see the pictures of everybody who just showed up. You're like, for Dapo's birthday.
Bro,
right. I was like, dang, we had that many people show up?
Yeah. We did. Cake and all.
Yeah, yeah.
In the different
Some,
venues
some,
we had.
yeah, sometimes I'm like, when I see what's this uh, the
Going
birthday
back.
bash thing, the birthday event thing. What's,
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, thank you. And I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, maybe I should have made my birthdays be that instead. But that's besides here or there.
It's all good.
That's neither here or there, but that's
And
good.
I think that has a lot to do with like how we approach dance now, is that because we've had those times when it's just been like super, super, super high sharing of energy with others. We're in the moment. And now it's kind of like, it's almost like almost like a crackhead. You're like, you decided not to be a crackhead and not chase that high. Right. It's like we're at a point
A
where
lot
like,
of it's also like, you're not gonna get it. I mean, for example, ADC was the dopest whenever all of us was there. I'm sorry, and this ain't a shot at ADC, but like we all went. I worked ADC. We all went to ADC, and the years that it was the best was whenever we were all there. Like there was like 3 years where like it was just lit the entire time. Me and my wife and a couple of other people went, and it was just us because I was still working it, and it was just us, and it was not lit. It wasn't. It wasn't the same, and it was the same boat. It was the same event, and the same people weren't there, and it just was not the same, man. And so I don't know. I think like I remember I asked somebody a question because I do believe that there are introverted people and extroverted people. I do think that there can be an extreme. Personally, I think there can be an extreme on either side. Like I understand extroverted people feed and get energy from people, and introverted people fuel themselves off of being alone. If they're around people too much, it gets too crazy. But I asked a person a question one time. I was like, if you had the option to live in a house by yourself and not have any human contact for 2 years, or live in a house and not be able to leave the house and live with 4 people for 1 year, which one would you choose? And a lot of people, well, this specific person told me that they would rather live in a house with 4 people for a year. And then, but I asked like to a couple other people, and they were like, oh, I would 100% live with no human contact for 2 years. And I was like, do you know what that means? Like niggas couldn't live in a house 6 months during 2020, bro. Like, do you know what no human contact looks like for 2 whole years? And so I don't know. I think that like just as people, we're just wired to need to be around people, you know?
we're tribal.
Right.
Very, very tribal.
So. Yeah, let's do a time hack. Okay, yeah, we're there on this one. I mean, you got any closing comments, anyone? G, Dapo?
For me, I look forward to the years to come. I hope it does change. I hope it does change for the better. I look forward to seeing new blood. I look forward to seeing people, keep these events going, and making them better, right? And I'll pop in once in and then for now. that's the mode I'm on, and yeah. It's I'm glad it was there when I was all in it.
Time's gonna come whenever people ain't gonna know who we are.
No, actually, it's here, and I like it.
It's crazy, right?
I like it.
You're gonna walk to an event and people are gonna be like I've walked into so many events and somebody will be like, oh, this is Archie from this and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then like some people are like, I have no idea who you're talking about. Like
and that's okay.
We're there, you know.
My favorite one is, and I love this so much. You walk into a room, you ask someone to dance, and they're like, no, sorry, or whatever. Everybody has their reasons. And then their friend or whatever, like, oh my God, that boy is here, blah, blah, blah. You should dance with them.
That is so funny. You
Dapo
looking
can't let that go, can he? Dapo cannot
No.
let this go.
No. No. And it's just like, no, it's okay. It's fine.
I swear,
No,
I was
no.
just listening to one of our old podcasts where we were talking about something like this.
Oh,
We're going to
Oh,
stay.
yeah.
We're going to stay very consistent with this. If you say no, don't come back later because you're dead to us. I'm just.
Oh my gosh! I was also looking at a post. I was looking at a post, an old post, and somebody was going back. This
Ladies.
one person on the post was going back and forth because so one person posted and said, "If I ask you for a dance and you tell me no, I'm not asking you no more." And one person was like, "That's petty and stupid and ridiculous." And
No, it's not.
And I was like, "No, it's not."
No, it's not. And it's not just like it wasn't a big deal for you to say no. It's not a big deal for me to not ask anymore.
Oh gosh, the double standard on that post was ridiculous.
Man,
And
look,
it's okay.
it is absolutely okay.
Okay.
If you say no, I've seen it too many times happen to Dapo. It's happened to me. I know it's happened to Archie, maybe in his dreams, not in real life. And I know it's happened to Leon.
Sure.
Say what, Archie?
Happened to me 100% for sure.
Obviously. And when it happens, you're like, you know what? I mean, I don't care. I'm glad you said no. Thank you. Thank you. And I hope you keep this same energy when you finally either see that I can dance or realize that you're not being asked to dance by nobody else. I wish you the best of luck tonight. Enjoy yourself. Have a good one.
Low key, some of the reasons why people say no has little to do with
Anything.
you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say is the petty side
True.
of people. No, not the acceptable quote unquote whatever you have any right to say to a reason, and even this reason is acceptable because you have a right to say no if you want to. But I feel like a lot of sometimes the petty reason is because like a status thing, or they're like, oh no, I'm so and so, and like you don't like look like I should be dancing with you, or blah 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 blah. This and this.
Yep. I'm
Get
like,
out.
fucking.
Get out my face. Get out my face. We done. You know.
And that shit is rampant, man.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's crazy. Anyways.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
I just don't. Yeah, I just don't care. I don't have the energy to really care about
I don't care anymore.
because they're like, no, okay, I'm cool. I was like, bad, thank you.
That's
Thank you.
that's the energy now. Straight
Yeah,
up.
Thank you. I was
Like,
Thank
woo.
you.
Would you like to
I'm good.
dance? And they'd be like, no. I'm like,
I'm like,
hey,
oh,
cool.
that's okay.
let's be
That's
clear.
cool.
You do not need to sugarcoat this. Just say no.
Say
I'm
no.
out. Thank you.
Say
No,
no.
you good. You ain't got to smile or say later. No,
I will pick up my drink, go back to my
I
seat.
appreciate you.
You know what's
Salute.
interesting? You might just have to break this up and just make it a separate podcast, because you know what's interesting about that is I feel like that. So I'm gonna just say this. I feel like a guy or a girl, but speaking specifically about a girl, feeling like she has to do that comes from, in my opinion, the history of seeing how fragile guys react whenever they're told no.
Yeah, it was a separate podcast.
Oh yeah,
we
this
ain't
is a
going.
podcast.
We ain't
Yeah,
going
that's
here.
right.
I know.
No,
I
sir.
told
you.
No, sir. No,
Number
sir.
one.
Yo, we
Yes,
could
yes.
do
We're
this.
not putting that out right now. But I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
And we can
I
address
understand
that.
what you're saying.
Let's
Yes.
end this
might
one and
rest
then
that.
we can,
Let's end
we
this
can
one
record
and-
that.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Great job.
Absolutely. That's a
Awesome.
good
I
one.
appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Archie.
Hey guys,
Commercial
look
break.
out for that one.
Yeah.
Commercial break. Yes.
See.